Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you. I'm Annette with your South Charleston Public Library, and I'm here with another First Chapter Friday. The book I've chosen to share with you today is called The Christmas Cup. It was written by Nancy Ruth Patterson, and it's illustrated by Leslie Bowman. It's published by Orchard Books of New York, and this book earned the West Virginia Children's Book Award for 1992 into 1993. So I'm happy to share it with you today. Her name was Anne Megan McCallie, but nobody ever called her that. Her brother Charlie called her Fang because the two front teeth that belonged in her mouth were buried in the side yard where Boo had hidden his beef bones. Charlie, who was 3 years older, had told Megan that if anyone buried a tooth deep in the soil and watered it every morning, a tooth tree would grow. She had planted the two teeth 6 inches deep and sprinkled them with the watering can twice a day for a week. Mr. Taylor, the neighbor who always wore suspenders that matched his red hair, told Megan that the teeth would not grow like that. Who ever heard of a tooth tree? He said, laughing. Charlie's friends who were in on the joke laughed too. Sometimes her brother called her PQ, short for patchwork quilt. That was because Doc Butler had taped a white gauze patch over her left eye to make her lazy right eye one grow stronger. You're the first on the block to have your own patch, he said as he patted the adhesive tape firmly in place over her eyebrow. Megan, squinting with her one eye, had the feeling she'd be the last one on the block to have one too. The other people in their sprawling white house on Main Cross Street didn't call her Megan that summer. Her mother called her Meggie. Her dad called her Meg. Nanny, her grandmother, called her Little M. That was the name that Anne Megan McCallie liked best of all. It wasn't just the summer of the teeth that wouldn't sprout or the lazy eye that had to grow stronger before the third grade started in the fall. For Megan, her 8th summer was the summer of the Christmas Cup. It all started with the lemonade stand. The hot pavement scorched Megan's feet as she ran 282 giant steps from her front door to Dumfries Meat Market on Mont Air Square. She knew better than to go uptown barefooted, but the thought of having her own lemonade stand had made Megan forget everything else that day. She stood in line to pay for a dozen lemons, the biggest in the bin, 2 pounds bag of sugar, and a box of flowery paper cups. The cement floor at Dumfries felt cool. You having a party or something, Megan? Mr. Dumfries asked as she handed him 3 wadded dollar bills her grandmother had given her. Oh, yes, something, I guess. She couldn't just go around announcing to the whole world that she was setting up business for herself, at least not yet. Too many things would go wrong. Maybe her father wouldn't be able to find the wood he needed for the stand at the Livingston lumber yard, or maybe Mama would change her mind about her using the old lemonade crock that had been in the family ever since there was a family. Or maybe Charlie wouldn't help her letter the butcher paper sign. That reminded Megan of something she had almost forgotten. Could I have about this much butcher paper for my grandmother, Mr. Dumfries? He measured off a piece twice as long as Megan could stretch her arms and stuck it in the paper bag beside the sack of sugar and the lemons she'd picked out. When do you get that patch off? Mr. Dumfries asked as he counted out 3 quarters and 2 pennies change. By Christmas, I guess, said Megan. Nobody had told her that, but it sounded like it could be true. Good things always happened at Christmas. Don't really matter, Mr. Dumfries said. Everybody knows you can read faster with one eye than anybody else around here can with 2. You're smart, like your father. That was the worst thing about being Anne Megan McCallie, being smart and having everybody in town know it. Everyone seemed to admire her father because he was smart, but the kids just called her teacher's pet. Megan hated it when the other kids called her that name. Nanny told her not to worry, that people only made fun of others when they are jealous. Her grandmother had said it one night last summer when they were washing the supper dishes. Megan still remembered the conversation. What's jealous? Megan had asked. She liked learning new words. Jealous is when somebody else really wants something that you have, Nanny explained. It's not a good thing to be. What do I have that somebody could be jealous of? Megan asked. She had never thought about it before. A family that loves you, for starters, Nanny said. Most people never know the kind of love you take for granted. How do you know they love me? Megan was sure that they did, but she wanted Nanny to say it anyway. Well, your father always leaves the house wearing that tie you picked out for him when your class went to the state capitol. Megan had spent most of her shopping time deciding on the lime green tie with the state of Missouri embroidered on the front. Nanny knew Megan's father left it in the glove compartment every morning before he went to the office. County lawyers always wore blue. But he had really worn it last Thanksgiving and for Megan's birthday dinner, too. And whose mother makes her a spider outfit for Halloween, complete with legs that moved? And whose mother didn't tell her father when you got your best Sunday school dress caught in the spokes of your two-wheeler? Even though she had told you not 5 minutes before to take the dress off before you'd played. And who helped you wallpaper your clubhouse with covers from American Girl magazine? Megan nodded. Of course she remembered all those things. How could she forget them? Are you sure Charlie loves me too? Megan had asked. Does he carry around the arrowhead you gave him as his lucky piece? Did he stay home from a baseball game to go to your first piano recital? Did he run all the way home to tell us your tooth had been knocked out loose in a game of Red Rover? Megan smiled. She had never told that it was her brother who had teased her into playing the game in the first place. Do you love me, Nana? Megan had asked. Little Em, you ask the silliest questions sometimes, Nanny had said softly. The clang of Mr. Dumfries' cash register made Megan stop thinking about last summer and start thinking about today again. She left Mr. Dumfries and walked the long way home on the edge of the grassy ditch that led from the square, past the chicken hatchery, in front of Doc Butler's two-room office, down the back alley, and through the gate of the white picket fence to her family's backyard. If her family saw her coming back from town barefooted, they'd be disappointed. That's what they always said when Megan had been less than her best self. The McCallie family didn't do things like going around without shoes. You could step on a nail and have to get a tetanus shot, she'd heard at least half 100 times. Or think of all the children who don't have nice shoes to wear. But Megan liked the way the grass tickled her feet. She walked through the back door, careful not to let the door slam, found a pair of holey tennis shoes in the giveaway bin in the pantry, and slipped them on before anyone could see her tar-crusted feet. Nanny saw her coming through the dining room door. You didn't wear those holey shoes uptown, did you, little Em? Her grandmother asked. Megan knew from her smile that she already knew the answer to the question. No, I didn't, Megan answered truthfully. She changed the subject. Will you show me how much sugar to measure, and can I stand on the stool to get the ice cubes down? Megan asked. Yes, I will, her grandmother said, and yes, you may. The sugar was measured, ice floated in chunks on the top of the lemonade crock. Wedges of lemons rested belly up on the bottom. Her father had hammered the last board in place. Nanny had covered the rough edges with wide sections of checkered oilcloth. Charlie had tacked the lemonade, 5 cents per cup, cup included, sign into place. And Megan McCallie was in business. Now, we have this book at the library for you to check out if you would like to, so you can find out where that lemonade stand led to the Christmas cup. Again, happy holidays. Stay safe and healthy. We love you and miss you at the library. Goodbye.